Now let's get into the YouTube portion of shoutouts. This has evolved into more than just shoutouts. This is shoutouts as well as comments, responding to user comments or viewer comments. So first and foremost, these shoutouts, we do have 2 new followers or subscribers rather on YouTube who have their settings set to public. So thank you very much, Elf Geek and Mo Banhart, for the subscribes over on the YouTube. That is where all of the things go. If you're watching this section on a shorts outlet or something along those lines, then you need to go check out the main channel on YouTube, youtube.com/generallynerdy, or for the bite-sized content, it is youtube.com/nerdnewsclips. That's where we post the individual things and the smaller bits for your easy consumption. All right, so shout-outs for this. Let's get into the comments. We have... all right, so this is... I posted a short on all of the platforms that only seem to get responses. Actually, we have no TikTok shout-outs for this section because I forgot to check those. So my apologies, TikTok followers. You will get your shout-out in the next episode. But... yeah, so I posted some shorts, and one of those shorts was about one of the recent leaks on Halo Infinite Forge, which is going to be coming out sometime at the end of the year, it seems. And there are, for some reason, dead brutes in the Forge, and I was very confused as to why this was a thing. Because I was not thinking about machinima stuff, because I don't know why. Red vs. Blue is one of my favorite machinima shows. So, and not machinima the channel, machinima the art style, where you take a video game and use that to animate your story. I wasn't thinking of storytelling. I was thinking of map building so you can do some multiplayer action with the kills and the things and the stuff. Yeah, so very interesting. The users who commented on this one, we have Nexcus, something, Narathan and Dark Doom 60. All of these people pointed out that it was for storytelling purposes, and I went, oh, that makes a lot more sense. So I do now understand that. But I think what I was kind of more inferring for the Dead Brute models when I first recorded that short was, are we going to get playable brute characters in multiplayer, or is it just going to be Covenant, like Arbiter style? Again, I can't remember the name of the race of that character, so if you know, please, by all means, let me know in the comments. But yeah, that was more of my inference, even though it was a very, very subtle inference. I think that's where I was going with that. I honestly, ADHD kind of... I don't remember exactly what my brain was thinking at the moment, but I'm pretty sure what I was doing. And also, Doom, what is his name again? Dark Doom 60. It's a little nuts, not gonna lie. It's a little dark, bro. A little dark, but I guess it's in your name, so it makes sense. Anyway, so our next, we have a couple more people talking about Orville Peck, specifically Connor and Dave Campero. So Dave's comment was that Orville is not using a pitch correction technique. It is, in fact, a yodel technique to make that jump. I can hear what you're thinking is a yodel, and that makes sense, and I appreciate the intellectual honesty. I still feel like, and I've listened to it probably almost a half a dozen more times since last we spoke, I still feel like there is a pitch correction issue there that makes it sound inhuman. Pitch correction is a normal thing. It is something that a lot of pop music uses. I think it is unnecessary if you have somebody as talented as Orville doing vocals, and this very well could be a stylistic choice. Very specifically, I say that because in 2 other points in the song, Orville hits these notes, but he does a more human-sounding slide, so it was not overly pitch-corrected, if at all. And it sounds better than the 2 or 3 parts where the pitch correction is an issue. So, like, I don't understand why it was done. Still, nobody has given me an argument that has really changed my mind as to whether or not that is actually pitch correction. I am like 90% certain that that was a pitch correction issue, though I do leave that 10% open because, yeah, I can see maybe how you can hear that as a yodel, but go listen to, I can't remember the Hank Williams song now. There's a Hank Williams song that I put in the comments of that video, that there's some obvious yodeling there and some prime example of a great yodel, and it doesn't sound like the same vocal technique. This sounds mechanical, that sounds human. So that is my response to Mr. Dave Comparo. Though I did not think of a yodel when I initially did that, so thank you very much for changing at least the angle through which I am making my argument. And then the Brit who cares. Oh wait, no, we're still talking about Orville, aren't we? So Connor is the next person I was going to address. Connor said that music is art and trying to make it as perfect as possible is the point. So why do I care about pitch correction being an audio engineer like I am? Because when you're dealing with human voices, pitch correction, much like drum replacement over on the metal drums side of thing, pitch correction is an issue because it takes out the soul of the performance or the style and flavor of the performer. When you have somebody as ridiculously talented as Orville Peck, there are subtleties in the way he delivers those notes. So if you pitch correct, you remove all of those subtleties, and then it could literally be anyone. And I mean literally be anything even, because in Japan, there is this music trend where it is music sung by an AI. It is not even a real person, because pitch correction and auto-tune and these kinds of tools are really awesome, and it's really cool that you can do these things with AI, but it's not human anymore and lacks some of the subtleties and lacks some of the things that make a lot of people connect to music at that same level, because it's robots, because it's done mechanically. So that's why I think it is important to get the best performance from your artist and not correct it in the computer in post. So there's that. All right, now we're talking about the Brit Who Cares. The Brit Who Cares. This was a comment on the BioShock short that where we're talking about the BioShock movie that's going to Netflix. This guy tried to post a link to his channel. I think he has like 22 subscribers. I understand what you're trying to do here, boss, but that is not how you get views on your video. I'm sorry. Do some research, do the things. I'm still learning how to get the views on my videos and the listens on my episodes, but that's not how you do it. You don't link to your video in the comment section of somebody else's video. So I'm still kind of riding the fence whether or not I'm actually going to keep this comment up, but as it stands right now, it is still there. So appreciate the enthusiasm, but aim it in a little bit of a different direction. So yeah, continuing on with the BioShock issues. We have Cameron Cassie, I think is how that's said. BioShock, the video, his suggestion in the comments section was the quality of this movie is going to depend greatly on who is sitting behind the director's chair. And I keep saying movie, it's because I'm pretty sure that's the way my brain remembered it. If it's a series, I apologize, and it's a total brain fart, but I'm like 98% certain it was movie that they were going to do, not a series. Anyway, so Netflix, the comment from Cameron Cassie is, he thinks that somebody very talented should be in that director's chair, and that somebody in this suggestion is Mike Flanagan, which is a very interesting thought. Mike Flanagan directing BioShock, like, it's outside of his wheelhouse because traditionally speaking, he works from fiction. I guess BioShock is technically fiction. From literary fiction is more specifically where I was going with that. So it would be outside of his comfort zone. I feel like Flanagan does his best work as a series showrunner / director, writer, so on and so forth, because then he has the time to tell the story. I feel like if you compare Dr. Sleep to, say, Haunting of Bly Manor or Haunting on Hill House or whichever, or at Hill House, then you start to notice how the shorter form of a movie versus the longer form of a series, that shorter form is not exactly his forte. Flanagan does amazing work in series format where he can have 10 hours to tell us a story. But if you have to cut that down to 2, even 2.5 hours, he starts to make some questionable decisions. I think that there's some things in Dr. Sleep that don't work as well as they should, even though I do really, really like Dr. Sleep. His best work is done in serial format. So I don't know if I necessarily agree, though he would be a fantastic choice. I honestly can't even think of somebody better to fit such a genre style film, because like obviously Fincher's a better director, but Fincher doesn't do this kind of genre film. So I'm gonna hand this one off, because thank you very much to again Cameron Cassie. I thank you very much for the idea, but I'm going to hand this one off to you viewers and listeners. Which director, I guess I should be a little bit more specific. Which director do you think would be better suited than Mike Flanagan for the Netflix BioShock movie? And again, if it's a series, I apologize that I misremembered it and I'm just really leaning into that movie idea. But we do have one more Orville that I didn't see in the notes. One more Orville comment from CC Wittershins, it's 2 Ds, so Wittershins. That was kind of maybe a compliment to my Orville Peck reaction, so I guess thanks, even though it seems like a little bit of a backhanded compliment, because it starts out, seemingly, a lot of nuance is lost through text, but seemingly it starts out a little hostile, but then at the end it said good reaction, so thank you. But that is our viewer comments section for this episode.